here I am. I'm out here on this property where we put in this small Brassica food plot out in front of me. Right here is one of my fine mock scrape licking branches. You can tell this is still all worked up. I had a trail camera here. I haven't checked this trail camera since like legit late September, early October. I think I hunted here maybe one time. My dad hunted here a little bit more. He saw a couple deer, but there's usually always like a doe and a fawn, or doe and two fawns that usually bed on this property year round. They might leave during the winter, but you have to get pretty lucky because this is like a little tiny maybe 10-acre parcel right here, and then the highway's back there, and there's really no big woods around, so this is kind of just like a rut parcel. You have to hit it like on the perfect day to actually probably see a buck back here during daylight. There's a rub on this tree, a rub on that one up there. There's usually a bunch of rubs on these quaking aspen trees right here, so that's why I set up this mock scrape with this vine and put this trail camera over here that I'm going to take down today. I got another trail camera back there further closer to the food plot. I'm probably going to leave that one, but I'm going to check that one too. But yeah, there's some really good willow bedding right there, a bunch of red osier dogwood over there, and some more willow bedding and red osier dogwood way in the back too. So this is pretty good early successional hardwood regeneration and brushy habitat for these deer, and lots of grass too in here. Hopefully this stupid thing worked. When I walked by, I heard it click. This is an older cam. We've had it for like, I think this is probably 4 or 5 years now. So like I said, it's been here for probably, like I said, the whole rut. See, look at it, it's still working, so that's good. Alright, it said 273, I think. Looks like 273 pictures. Okay. Yeah, my dad's buddy who lives here, he's like, the house is right there, so that's why I didn't really expect to get any daylight pictures here, but just some rut cruising right here, because there's tons of rubs right in these trees and stuff every year. Alright, so I'm in the quaking aspen area right here, but you can tell this is made from a pretty good sized deer right here. Looks like it was rubbed last year, maybe the year before that, started to grow over, but this is this year's rub. A lot of them. Holy crap, this is pretty high. That's about at my waist. Looks like there was a pretty, maybe like a 2-year-old, 3-year-old buck in here at one point, probably during the rut. A lot of these are all scarred up. It looks like this every year in here. These trees get hit really hard. There's a nice oak tree coming in there, one there too. And there's all that red osier dogwood. All these look pretty old. They're starting to dry up. Right here looks like a fresher one, maybe. Nah, it's just on a willow. I don't know. But as you can tell, they're everywhere in here. This is probably some really good nighttime bedding habitat. I can see like up here, the grass is like kind of crushed down. I think they bed back there and way down by the point in the corner of this property during the daytime. Right here is like a really, good diverse. Got red osier dogwood. I think these are called sandbar willows. That's what all that is over there too. Got some cottonwoods coming in. Quaking aspens. These are all like perfect habitat, species. They love rubbing on all this stuff. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 or 6 rubs from where I'm standing, all within 10 yards of me. Actually 7. There's one over there, or 6, whatever. Let's keep moving on there. Then it opens up into all this grass right here, and we have our food plot. I'll just head over there right now, actually. Got about a half-acre food plot over here of brassicas. This is all excellent nighttime bedding too, right here on this grass. Right here, the food plot. It's looking pretty good yet. I haven't been here in a while either, so. I can see a deer bed right here, right on the edge of the food plot in this grass. That's why, like, a lot of times I find sheds in grassy areas like this, not in the actual food plot, because they come and browse in the food plot for half hour, maybe 45 minutes at most. then they move on, and then they just bed down, you know, near the food sources. But they could bed here for 3, 4, 5 hours or so, and then hit the food plot and then go back to their daytime bedding. That's why daytime bedding, where they spend most of their day, and nighttime bedding, where they spend most of their night, is the best area to find sheds. But nighttime bedding is usually close to food, but it's usually not in the food plot. It's usually like on the edge on some grass or so, or on the edge of the woods. So this food plot right here wasn't, you know, this is a new food plot, and this is a pretty big experiment, because this stuff was all like that. If we would have done anything, this whole area would have been like goldenrod, milkweed, and grass. And it was a pretty, you know, intense spray or no-till planting method, because like all we did was come in here and I walked right through all that weeds and everything, walked right through, broadcasted all my seed, and then we sprayed it all, and we came back about a month later and we had really poor germination. But that's what this area is right here, where you can see a few brassicas here and there. But these ones got bigger and actually produced bulbs, because, you know, we got them in the ground earlier. But then we came back, and then since it was already mostly dead, we burned most of it off, and then we disked it all up, and then we replanted. And then that's what all this is right here, where it looks really good yet. Although there is a lot of, the deer don't like to eat on the purple top turnip leaves too much, because they die out, but they eat on these bulbs all winter long. So they'll be coming back, you know, all the way. I'll pull this one out. They'll be coming back all the way into like March and stuff, chewing on these. Still got some good green leaves off the forage rape and kales, but like I said, the purple top turnip leaves, they kind of just die off and dry up. And they're obviously not going to eat that, but they'll eat this. So, and these are the Dankin radish. Didn't look like they ate off some of the leaves up here, but these Dankin radish bulbs, that's the big radish bulb right there, and they just rot off. See, these purple top turnips are pretty hard yet, but those radish bulbs, they don't last too long in the winter. They kind of just rot. That's why they're kind of more of like an early season, like October and early November species. They'll just eat the leaves on them. But that's just, if you have more deer in your area, like here, there clearly ain't too many deer, because there's just this little 10-acre pocket, and it's just interstate, field. The closest big woods is across the river that way, or way over there. So this is kind of just a tiny little parcel here with just a couple deer bedding on it normally. But maybe it'll suck some deer over here during the winter if they find this food source. I mean, there's tons of purple top turnips in here. They'll be pawing around and digging these up in the snow, and they'll be eating all these green leaves off the forage rape, like I said. See, right here, they're planted a little bit thinner. Like right here, they're really thick. Not too many big bulbs in there. Right here, they're thinner, and you can tell these things grew a lot nicer sized bulbs. So along the edge of the food plot here, this was all replanted, and this was the original planting of the spray and seed. You can see all the old dead grass and stuff. This stuff, like I said, came up thinner, but these plants got a little bigger, and that's why these bulbs are really big here. And these Dankin radish here, here's another example. It's all rotten. This one's rotten. That big one's rotten. They grew really nice, but the deer just didn't eat on them. I mean, I'm sure if you had more deer in your area, they'd probably eat on them. They ate on the leaves really good, I remember, but they just didn't eat the bulbs. But yeah, this area's a little thinner because this is the original planting. And then over here, it gets pretty thick again. Here's a pretty big one. All right, I set up a mock scrape right here. This stuff is really thick here. I planted it way too thick on this end, but oh wow, this is fresh. You can tell the ground has been worked up or peed in right there. And this is one of my vine scrapes here too. I was thinking about putting the trail camera on this tree, and I broke down this branch, you know, so they could paw around and make a scrape there. But yeah, got a trail going that way. I'm either gonna put the trail camera, you know, closer to the food plot here, maybe on that tree right there. It's kind of a small tree, but there ain't too many trees around. My trail camera's back this way. I'm gonna go head to it right now. Well, here's my other vine scrape right here, and the trail camera's right here. Hopefully it's working. I got extra batteries though. Way back here in the corner now, I see a bunch of rubs right here, kind of close to this big broke. I always thought this would be like a pretty good spot for something to bed down. I mean, it's plenty thick in there for something to hide. I'm coming up on a bunch of big rubs. Rubbed on this side too. Back there in that corner by those pines, that looks like a good spot too. I've been back there, but there might have been something nice bedding here, you know, during the rut. It's just hard to hunt this, because if you're gonna hunt this corner down here and he's bedded right here, you can't come all the way down here. You got to go back that way, and then if you come up this way, you can kind of see it's just such a small area. It's hard to even get back in here. I'm sure I already spooked the deer out of here. I haven't seen anything, unless nothing's here right now. I don't know. This always looks like a good spot too, kind of on the back side of this pond. There's tons of trails and rubs over here always. Trail going that way. There's a rub right there. Yeah, there's just all kinds of rubs and all these little willow trees here. And this would be like, because this was corn this year, this is all cover and a big screening wall from the highway, from the other house over there. This would have been like great habitat for bedding right here, and all these willows. Got a big screening wall there, got water there. Nothing's gonna come from that way. Nothing really. I mean, I haven't been over here too much, ever. Surprised there's not more rubs in here though. Right here it kind of looks like a bed. It's kind of crushed down. I don't see too much hair. Although they aren't really shedding yet. They're kind of just putting on their winter coats. Usually in the spring, that's nipped off right there. There probably was something bedding here sometime this year. It's a little higher spot right next to the water. But usually in the spring, when they start shedding, you can really see their beds, because they, you know, lose a lot of hair. Right there looks like another bed. It's kind of crushed down. Oh, right there is some hair. That's just grass. Pretty good deer trail right here that I'm on right now, and could be some possible bedding right here on this high spot. This looks like a good bedding spot right here. Right there, some hair. That is for sure deer hair. Some more right there. I don't know, it looks like maybe a doe is probably, or a doe and her two fawns, or this could be a doe bedding area, because I am not seeing too many rubs back in here. But this is probably the best spot to bed on the whole property. Like, if I was a deer, this is where I would bed. It's so secluded from everything. You can escape really easy and just run across that field. Big rub there. Got plenty of decent browsing back in this area with all these willows. Huge rub right here. A couple of them actually. It's all beat up. This could be where the bucks are bedding, because there's a lot more rubs here than what there was back there by that pond. There's rubs everywhere in here. I'm sure they're not here anymore, because usually this time of the year it's like 20 degrees cooler than what it is today, but usually in the fall, I mean in the late fall, early winter, these deer kind of leave this property. Wow, there's a lot of good trails running along the backside of this pond too. I rarely ever get back here. I always kind of, you know, thought the deer were bedding back here. And I'm sure they are. It's just hard to get back here because, like I said, if you walk along the edge of the field, they're like literally right here. You can't really set up on them. Maybe on that side you could. Holy smokes, look at this. This could be where he was bedding, like right in some of this kind of brushier stuff. Because look at all these rubs. I mean, there's like 10 of them there, a couple there, a couple back there. And there's plenty of room to just bed down right in there. Possible bedding area right here. Yeah, it looks pretty good in here. More big rubs up here. I think the bucks were definitely bedding by this pond because there's a heck of a lot more rubs here than what there was back there. Just look at that. And then up that way is, you know, where I saw those rubs earlier in the video on those aspen trees. Pretty close to the house, actually. And the trail kind of comes out right here. The house is right up there. Huh. Like I said, the other pond's right there by all those other willows. I might actually just walk over there today, just take a look at it. This is probably getting to be kind of a long, boring video for you guys, but I'm gonna wrap it up here. You guys can check out the pictures at the end of the video after this. All right, so here we are, September 27th, setting it up. So it's been out there for about a total of 3 months now. This is the camera about 100 yards from the house. You can see it plain as day from where these deer are. So that's why I didn't really expect to see a whole lot of daylight movement here. But although the deer started showing up around the middle of October, the October lull, the deer are starting to show up. So basically, I mean, since there was no pressure on this property, these deer started moving around mid-October during daylight in the afternoon, as you can see right there, during the so-called October lull. Here's one in the morning on the 20th, getting closer to the pre-rut and rut. So, I mean, these vine mock scrapes are amazing because, as you can tell, does, fawns, bucks, everything is using these things. I mean, it just becomes an excellent communication hub because all the deer just leave their scent right on that vine. And I think the movement of the vine, that's a really nice buck right there. One of the nicer ones I got a picture of here. That's actually on the day I shot my buck. That's in the early morning. Here is in the middle of the day, cruiser. And anyways, like I was saying, that vine, I think the movement is what really gets their attention and really is what they like. And that's today right here. The camera, I mean, the pictures really slowed down after gun season, which is expected. Here's the other camera site with the other vine mock scrape. It's a nice buck. He actually beds down eventually, right? Actually, that's the next one coming up here. But this buck's trailing this doe, and he beds down, which is pretty cool. You can see right here he's getting up. He was only there for about 20 minutes or so. But you can tell he was pushing this doe or this little fawn around. That's on the day I shot my buck too, which is pretty cool. Right here. Actually, no, I shot my buck on the 9th this year. Well, whatever. It's all in the middle of the rut right here. But as you can tell, they're really using this vine. But yeah, I really encourage you to try out these vine mock scrapes. It's super easy. Just cut a vine, tie it up to a limb, or you could tie a string between two trees and just put the vine right in the middle of a deer trail. It's just a really good tactic. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys.